up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? What's good? What's up, people? It's me, L Teddy27, and I am back for another review. This is going to be a retro review. And this is going to be our review for The Wire, Season 1, and we are on episode 10. This is called The Cost. Now, we are deep into the drama, okay? Deep into the drama. Lots happen. Let's go ahead and get through it. We start off with Bubs. He's in the park. Now, we know Bubs is on this kick trying to get clean, okay? He'd have been clean for a few days now, staying in the sister's basement and so forth. So, he's on his way to recovery. And, you know, you see him in the park trying to do things and trying to make his way and get things off his mind, or you know, do things to get his mind away from trying to go get that next hit. Okay, so then after that, we see Avon, Stringer, and Weebay. They're at this bar and they're talking. So they're talking about after the whole thing with the shootout between Omar and Weebay and Avon being caught in the crossfires. They're talking about how, okay, maybe we do need to go with Stringer's plan and call this truce. And then when Omar thinks it's safe, then we can go ahead and take him out. So that's what they're planning on doing. Stringer tells Avon, listen, bruh, we can't have no more mishaps like that. We got to build a wall of protection around you. We cannot have you get gunned down, or we cannot have you falling victim, you know, to some madman, or, you know, or somebody trying to, you know, come up in the drug game. So you got too many enemies, too many people that want you out. So they're going to build up this wall of protection around him. He's not going to be taking phone calls from people. He's not going to be, if you need to talk to Avon, you're going to have to go through Stringer. So that's the whole big thing with that. We'll see how far that gets them. All right, so they got to be extra careful. And it's not just the Omar situation, but it's also the fact that they know that the police are on them as well. Because remember, the police just tried to, you know, pick him up. And remember, he waved the finger at Daniel. So they know the police is after them. Omar's after him. It's too much. The block is hot. The block is hot. So they got to protect Avon at all costs. Next, we see McNulty. He's in the judge's chambers. And he's trying to get wiretaps for the new payphones that they got. The judge is irritated. The judge ain't happy. And while the judge usually is here for all this, the judge ain't here for none of this. Rhonda's there, and you know, they're doing all of the paperwork and the formalities for getting these wiretaps. And the judge is like, another 30 days. Like, he's basically at the point where he's like, okay, when are y'all gonna make moves on this? And so we find out when they leave, Rhonda tells McNulty, because McNulty was like, well, what's up his ass? And Rhonda tells him, listen, his seat is up for election. He didn't even make the ticket. Meaning, he's not, no matter what happens at this point, unless he has an overwhelming write-in campaign, he won't have that seat no more. So, whereas he could put pressure on Deputy Burrells and all of these people because he was a sitting judge, he's not. Because what happened is he took over someone else's tenure when they died, and it was an appointed one. So now he has to run on his own, and that person tenure was up for re-election. So we'll see how that goes. Dee's baby mama is nagging him all about, you know, getting a bigger house, better furniture. We need to do this, we need to do that, this, that. And he's like, listen, I'm not here for this. She's just nagging him. Mind you, I think Dee's house is rather nice. For that time period in 2002, he had a nice house. A very nice house. We know he has nice clothes. He has nice things over there. She's just trying, you know, she see all the drug money and she's trying to get whatever she can out of it. Child, I guess that's what you do when you're a baby mama of a drug dealer. Okay. Anyway, back down to the office. The detective, they think they found, y'all know I call the office little, you know, basement, whatever they in. Boiler room, basement, wherever they is. I call that the office. Anyway, back down to the office. The detectives think they found out where the main stash is. And they got a wiretap on the phone in Northwest Baltimore, where they think they found the area. So what they want to do is they want to take, they got a wiretap for this phone in Northwest Baltimore, where the person who's over the stash always goes to answer pages when he's paged. And so they get a wiretap on that. Sidnor and Carver, they on detail going down there to watch him and see if they can't come up with when he gets on the phone, so they can tell the people down to the office so they can listen to the calls, as well as so they can get to finding an exact address for the main stash. Because if they can get the main stash, y'all know that's big time. So then we see Kima is telling them, I need to go see Omar and find out, where Omar is and talk to him. McNulty is going to go see Wallace because he keeps hearing about Wallace all over the wiretaps, about the fact that people keep talking about Wallace and the fact that Wallace, ain't seeing it for the drug game no more after, the whole thing with Brandon, Omar's boyfriend. So he feels like maybe I can get him to talk. Orlando, then we see he goes out and he's trying to make his own connect. So he goes and he finds his own connect, and then he gives the connect the money, this and the third. The connect give them some pills and so forth and so on. Child, so he thinking he finna make it and get him his own money. Child, we'll see what happens with that in just a moment. McNulty, then we see he goes down to Wallace's place, and Wallace ain't there. Wallace's house is empty. So what he does is he ends up getting 2 cops to go and stake out Wallace's house, meaning stay there until Wallace gets home. When Wallace gets home, pick him up, bring him down to the precinct. Okay? And he bribes them with some crab cakes and some beer. Bubs, in the meanwhile, is in the park talking to the guy who run the Narcotics Anonymous meetings. And the guy is basically telling him, listen, you gotta forgive yourself first, and you gotta love yourself first in order to really get clean. Now, we find out that Bubs has a son who lives with his mom, and the mom, of course, being that he's strung out, was like, nah, he ain't finna be staying with you. But we do find out Bubs got a son. McNulty, and then, like I said, McNulty got the 2 cops to watch out for Wallace. D goes down to the script club before it's time for them to report to work. He's trying to get in contact with Stripper Chick, because Stripper Chick ain't been answering his calls, ain't been going out with him, and D likes Stripper Chick, and he hates that she ain't talking to him no more. So he goes down there, and she will not give him the time of day. I can't talk to you. You can't talk to me for 5 minutes. Nope, can't talk to you at all. Sorry, not gonna happen. And after that, she goes inside, and he's all mad and kicking shit over, but he's real mad because he misses her. And he knows he didn't do right by her. And he's trying to make up for her, but I don't know if Stripper Chick gonna go for it, especially now that she's, in cahoots with the police. Next, we see Kima and McNulty over there talking to Omar. They upset with Omar, okay? They mad with Omar because Omar tried to take out Avon, and they know Omar tried to take out Avon because it's been all over the wiretaps and everything. And they say, listen, I thought you said you was going to, lay low and let us do our thing. He was like, I tried. Hey, I got to do what I got to do. You got to do what you got to do. I got to do what I got to do. I ain't mad at Omar. Hey, y'all do what y'all do. I do what I do. And he tells them all about this alleged truce that Stringer and Avon wants to have there. Kima tries to tell him, go ahead and take the truce and lay low. Omar says he's not sure if he can trust Avon. We'll see how that works out too in a few minutes. Omar then tells them that he needs medical attention. He shows them his gunshot wound. Well, actually, it's on this. Yeah. It's on this shoulder. And you see the gunshot wound, and so it's important that y'all make note of what shoulder I said, okay? And he says he can't go to the ER because if he go to the ER, then Avon gonna have all these people waiting for him outside the ER to take him out. He needs medical attention, and they need to get him some. So he says, y'all need to talk to a few of y'all doctor friends and have them come look at me and help me out. Next, we see the fact that Orlando is in jail. Orlando, the soulless, done tried to buy drugs off of undercover cops. So it was a whole sting operation that they had trying to get not Omar, damn, Orlando. And so Orlando ends up in jail. Orlando starts singing like a bird. He starts telling about Avon and Stringer Bell and everything. And these are police from a different, area. They have no idea who Avon is. No idea. Just like Daniels of them didn't know who Avon was. They'll have no idea. So he starts giving up all these names, and so his the detective's supervisor tells him, listen, see what you can find out on these people that he giving y'all. If he giving y'all good stuff, then we'll see how we can help him out. So that detective ends up starting to do some homework and see who can find out that may be investigating Avon Barksdale. Put a note in that. McNulty then gets a hold of Wallace. Wallace is down to the precinct. Wallace done told on everybody. Wallace done told everything he know. The only person Wallace is saving is D. Because he said D did right by him. And he ain't going to say nothing bad about D. But he telling on everybody. He's singing like a bird. And I just don't. The story of Wallace in this show is such a tragic story. Like Michael B. Jordan's character, Wallace. My heart, even I remember watching it the first time, my heart went out to Wallace. My heart really went out to Wallace. Because I was like, damn. Because you can see this is not going to end well for Wallace. Anytime you end the game and you end up working with the police, this shit does not end well for you. It just doesn't. Anyway. So Buck and McNulty are talking about, have you heard him? Because he was in that sleep. He ain't got nowhere to stay. We know he ain't got nowhere to stay. He was like, they talk about the fact that his parents are not around. His mom's strung out on drugs. I think dad's strung out on drugs. All he got is a grandmother that he ain't talked to in years and years and years and years and years, who stay down on Maryland Eastern Shore. I don't know where Maryland Eastern Shore is, but I've heard so much about Maryland Eastern Shore. I feel like I should have already been there, or maybe I did and I just didn't know. Because I've been to Maryland and D.C. so many times. I've been to Baltimore. Maybe I have been to Maryland Eastern Shore. I just didn't know. Really B, I know you watching this review. Really B, can you tell me more about this Maryland Eastern Shore place? Because I feel like I've been there. We'll talk about it. Or I might call my best friend who stays in D.C. Anyway, that was for Really B TV. Shouts out to her. If you're not watching her virtual review of The Wire, you're missing out. Anyway. So they trying to figure out what they're going to do with Wallace. Because they got to do something with Wallace. Because Wallace ain't got nowhere to go. They don't have the money. Burrell ain't going to pay no more money to put him up in a hotel or something like that, or witness protection. So they got to figure out something to do with Wallace. And they got to find a way to tell Wallace that he may have to testify. And you knew he can't testify against them. He's going to end up dead. We already see that. They end up finding out where the stash house is. They do some good detective work. Sidnor plays the, crackhead or whatever, drunk, and follows the guy and finds the crack house. Okay? Not the crack house, the stash house where the stash is. And he sees that they got, cameras everywhere, bars everywhere, this, that, and the third. They got, and that, they say, yeah, that's the main stash house. It's in what looks to be, a decent neighborhood. Nice looking house, but they done found it. They ain't go in, but they know the address now. McNulty's wife takes him to court. We see, listen, he in the middle of meeting where they was talking about what they was going to do with Wallace and how they was going to try and, keep him. And he gets a call saying that he has an emergency court case injunction or whatever down there to custody court, to juvenile, to, family court, about custody of their kids, because the wife done got him down there, and she wants to change visitation rights. It's such an emergency here. I don't know how true this is. I don't know if this is how this really works. But he has to pick up and go right then and there without any formal notice ahead of time. Now, I don't know that court cases work like that. People that work in the criminal justice system or the penal system, let me know. And this is not a penal system, but people who work in the legal system, let me know. Because don't they have to let you know just in case you at work, or maybe you had a doctor's appointment, or maybe you had some other emergency going on. They can't just say come to court right now. But I don't know. Anyway, he says I need a lawyer. He has to get Rhonda to represent him, and Rhonda just got up because when the judge asked her what did she have to say on his defense, she was like, I would have a lie if this were a criminal case. But seeing this how I don't do family court and I don't know nothing about this, I have nothing to say and nothing to offer because y'all, I was just brought here just because y'all called this emergency hearing. The judge said, listen, I ain't here for neither one of y'all. Y'all go to the back and work this shit out because I ain't got that type of time. And I ain't got it to do to be wasting taxpayers' money on y'all bullshit. Y'all need to work that shit out. We then see Avon's lawyer goes to see Orlando. Orlando mad because they ain't even paid bond for him, okay? They ain't even posted bail for him. The lawyer says, listen, go ahead and sign these good documents, signing over the ownership of the strip club and signing over that good liquor license. We post-dated it for like a week ago because we don't have this type of time. If you know what I'm saying, we need, if it's supposed to be if this is supposed to be, one of those businesses that is a front, we need our fronts to be clean. And clearly you're not clean anymore if you're getting arrested for drugs. So he said, I ain't signing nothing till they post bail. He was like, do you really want me to tell them that you weren't going to sign nothing? You really want me to do that? So he went on here to sign because he knew what that meant. Anyway, we find out that McNulty and his wife ended up talking, smoothing it over, working it out, and they're going to keep it moving. She knows Wallace is a whole ass whore. She knows, not Wallace, she knows McNulty, is a whole ass whore. He ain't going to stop whoring. So I guess she got over her little situation and decided to move on with life. Daniels is then taking Wallace down to his grandma's house because that's the only place he can go at this point. Because he even asked Rhonda if the state's attorney's office could help him, and she was like, no, they're not going to do it. So, and we find out Wallace is going through withdrawal. And that's hard for anybody, much less a 16-year-old who was on drugs. And so I don't see this ending well for Wallace either. And I figure the grandma is not going to be putting up with a whole lot. Prop Joe sets up a meeting with Omar and Stringer. Stringer says he don't know, because Omar keeps saying, what about Avon? What about Barksdale? This, that, and the third. He keeps bringing up Avon's name. And Stringer said, I don't know no Barksdale. I don't know nothing about that. He does end up alluding to the fact that he had something to do with Omar's boyfriend getting killed. So they could probably get him on that because Omar had on a whole ass wire. Okay? And Omar says, listen, I need you to give me $5,000 to $10,000 or $10,000 if you want me to call a truce and not, bother with y'all no more. And Stringer says, okay. We'll see how that goes. Well, Stringer says he'll take it back and see how that goes. But we know he ended up saying, okay. Then we see the guy who picked up Orlando. He comes down to the boardroom, down to the office. Him and Key, my good friend, they work together. And so forth in narcotics. And he's, like I said, he's investigating all of these names that Orlando gave him. And that led him to them down there in the boiler room, down there in the office. And so they talk about, the fact that, hey, we got Orlando, he's in jail. And then they were like, they got Rhonda there and they said, listen, what we could do is we can get him to set up this thing where if he can get them to, he can wear a wire, and if he can get them to admit or talk about, get one of the people like Savino, I think they said Savino, to talk about Avon or Stringer or get one of the higher up, get information on the higher ups, they'll lower his sentence. So they set up this whole thing where they're supposed to go and set up this this thing where he gets money and they give him money. Wait, I think he's supposed to get some kind of way. I'm not in on the ins and outs of all of it, but some kind of way they was gonna give him money. Orlando was supposed to give them money. They were supposed to give him drugs. He was supposed to sell some more of the drugs so that he could get money off the for his lawyer. But the shit was stupid to begin with. I'll get there in a minute. I'll tell y'all why it was stupid, but we'll get there in a minute. Freeman goes to talk to stripper chick. Stripper chick tells Freeman, listen, I can't get no information. They run a tight ship down there. Every time I go in there, they shut up. They don't talk about nothing. They behind sealed and locked doors. They use code names, code words. They got people walking around the door all the time. I can't get no information. It's hard for me to even identify these people because I have to go in there without my glasses. My glasses are ugly as fuck. So I can't even really identify nobody because I can't even see faces really when I have on my glasses. I understand that because I be having the same issues too sometimes. Anyway, so then they like I said, they went and talked to Rhonda about, you know, how they could try to put this thing together and work on getting Orlando a reduced sentence if he gets some valuable information. While they're in this meeting, Daniels get called to Burrell's office. At Burrell's office, Burrell is like, listen, I ain't sent y'all in here for the wiretaps and all this bullshit. I sent y'all in there to get a couple of arrests, get some of the low people off the streets, and keep it the fuck moving and make these people happy. We ain't sending y'all down here to be the goddamn FBI. We not sending y'all down here to do all of this in and out and stuff leading up to state senators and all of this. We sent you down there. You go, you knock a few heads down. You arrest a couple, you know, the people on the bottom of the totem pole, and we keep it the fuck moving. Burrell is not happy. This does not bode well for them because this coincides with the fact that the judge ain't gonna be a judge for much longer. So this is gonna be a whole ass mess. I mean, he had to remind Daniels, I didn't send you down there for this fuck shit. But y'all see, Omar, we found out Omar is leaving town, and this is why I told y'all Omar's going to New York City. Okay, this is why I told y'all to pay attention to the show that I pressed on now. He got shot in what appeared to be his left shoulder. Okay? His left shoulder. When he was going to the bus with McNulty, he was favoring his right arm. His left arm, he was moving fine, but it was his right arm he was favoring as if that was the injured arm. And that was a flaw that I found in the show. Even though I know this is one of my favorite shows, one of the top 5 shows of all time. Every show has some flaws. I caught one. Y'all go back and look and tell me if y'all caught it too. Anyway, but my point, but what we learned here is Omar, like we always say, is 5 steps ahead of everything. Omar knew if they nilly-willy was willing to give him that money, and he knew, nah, that shit don't sound right. Because they ain't just going to give me no money to call no truce like that. Y'all trying to set me up. So he ended up not taking the money and going on and getting out of town to New York. Because he knows the block is high. He know trying to kill Avon Barksdale does not bode well for him. And Stringer told him as much when he met up with Stringer. Stringer said, you one man. You know how many soldiers we got over here? So you need to make a decision on what you're going to do. And I think what Stringer told him sunk in like, yeah, let me get out of here while I save my own life. Omar ain't done by a long shot. He doesn't make it to all the way to the end of the series being stupid. Anyway, the detail, they set up this whole thing with the Savino and everything and so forth. Meanwhile, Kima had went and met up with Bubs. Bubs told Kima that he was trying to get right and get clean. Bubs then says, hey, I'm trying to get clean. I've been clean for a couple of days now, and I want to, get some help from you so I can get some clothes and get somewhere to stay, and I can do right by myself. And she said, you know what I'm gonna do with the informant, that's clean. But, she's happy for him. So she said, no problem. I'm going to help you out. I'll meet you up here tomorrow. and I'll come here and I'll help you out. Long story short, Kima never comes. Why does the Kima never come? Let me tell you. Sting. Kima is supposed to be the chick that Orlando has in the car. Okay? She's looking all nice and feminine finally. And, you know, Orlando says, oh, this is the chick that gave me half the money. That's why she's in the car when Savino gets in. And let me tell you why you had to know this wasn't going to work. First of all, they know that Orlando is in jail for drugs. Ain't nobody getting out no jail for no drugs that fast like that if he ain't had no bail money. He was looking for them to give him bail money. They knew he ain't have nobody else to get bail money from. How you get out of jail? Secondly, the thing about it is, if they wasn't willing to let him sell drugs before, why would they want to get in with him with the drug game now that he just got arrested for drugs? That just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So I thought it was flawed from the beginning. Anyway, it's a whole ass setup. They get them to drive into some alley. Kima in the back seat. Orlando in the front seat. Savino in the passenger seat. Savino goes out, talk about, all right, let me go ahead and get the drugs for you. Savino gets out. Next thing you know, Kima says, this don't feel right, this don't feel right, this don't feel right. The other officers they're supposed to be following can't even find them. Don't even know what alley they went down. They done changed the street signs and all kinds of shit. Long story short, they got set up. They start shooting up the car. Orlando gets shot dead. Kima is in the back seat shot. We don't know if Kima is alive or dead. I know if she's alive or dead. But if this your first time watching, you don't know if she's alive or dead. And they finally find them. They pull Kima out the car. And Kima is laid out. And that's where it goes off, y'all. Y'all know we getting heated and deep into the drama now. I think we got like, what, 2 more episodes in this season. Y'all, it's getting good. It's getting good. So y'all get down in the comments and let me know what y'all think. Let me know if y'all caught that part about Omar and his arm. And that's all I got for y'all until our next review. Thank y'all for coming. Y'all drive safely. I'm out.